Hey Booktube, I'm Debs. Welcome back to my channel, Raina Read Stuff. I'm in the book shack. I'm still losing my voice. Well, I think it's coming back a bit now, but I'm still a bit croaky. But it's the last day of May, and so I need to tell you what I'm doing in June. Bet you can't guess. I'm really looking forward to this summer. There's so many good events going on, and I'm taking part in a lot of them as I am want to do because I love them and I can't resist. So here's the booktube blackboard. I've done it. I've changed the order of them because these ones stay all year round, and so it makes sense for them to be on the bottom. And we have several events that are lasting all summer, so 3 months. So that's that section here. And then at the top, we've got June. So we're going to go through in reverse order. Historathon, one of my favourites. I am a co-host. I love it. We are currently into the we will be tomorrow, into the third month of the second quarter of Historathon. We are reading books about anything in the time period 500 to 1500. And I've got quite a lot still planned, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, this is run by Vin at Revenant Reads, if you don't know. Next up is MJ's 24 and 24 banned books. A bid to read 24 books this year that have been banned or challenged. It's about time I did an update on that, actually. I'll do that next week. Then we have a number of summer events. So these are going to last from now until September. The Big Books Challenge is the brainchild of Sue Jackson, and she classifies big books as anything over 400 pages. This should be quite easy for me to complete because a number of these others are more than 400 pages. Then we have The Wrath of the Summer of Trek. And this is another one of Vin at Revenant Reads, Brainchilds, and we will be reading Star Trek. Now, I am a huge Star Trek fan. I've always been a huge Star Trek fan. I started watching the original series with my dad many moons ago. I've never read it. I've never read any Star Trek books. So I have a little pile, and I've also got a book over there that I forgot to pick up that I can't reach. That is the Star Trek Science Logs, and that explains, and it's written by Andre Bore, who is a science, or was, I don't know if he still is, a science expert acting as a consultant on the Star Trek films. So, one of the prompts is to read a science book. That is mine. But I also have 3 original series books. I've got Star Trek 1. I've got Star Trek 4. Those are both by James Blish. And I have Star Trek Deep Domain, which is written by Howard Weinstein. I then have Next Generation, The Romulan Stratagem, written by Robert Greenberger. Deep Space Nine, I have Day of Honor Book 2 of 4, Armageddon Sky by LA Graph. That looks fun. Oh, they all look fun. I don't read them unless I think they look fun. And then I have Voyager, where Cadet Janeway is exiled to a wilderness planet, and this one's called Starfleet Academy, The Chance Factor. It's by Diane G. Gallagher, and Martin R. Burke. Finally, I have a Star Trek New Frontier, No Limits, edited by Peter David. So, that's my Trek series. The final summer long event that I'm taking part in is the Summer of Sport. I am a co-host. It is hosted by Mark at Book Time with Elvis and Steve Donahue. I've already done a video on the pile of possibilities for this. I have got another couple, but I'll probably go through that in a different video. But check out the other one I did. So, Summer of Sport, Wrath of Summer of Trek, and Big Books of Summer will all be lasting 3 months. I must admit, I do like book challenges or book events that last more than a month because it gives you a chance to give them a proper going. Excuse me. Then there are 2 single book events in June. One is Dune in June, where we will be reading the first book of Dune by Frank Herbert. I did a video about this yesterday. Shawn D. Starnfast, Arron Hook are the hosts, and Randy Ray at Literate Texan, Steve Donahue and myself are co-hosting. Fancy joining us? Please do. It will be a lot of fun. Then there is the start of a Ulysses readathon. And this is hosted by Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads and Al at Big Hard Books and Classics. And we will be reading Ulysses over a period of 8 weeks. And that starts this weekend. And I have never read James Joyce's Ulysses. Apparently, it's a very complicated read. And so group reading it sounds like a good idea because you get that support. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I'm most looking forward to June on the Range. I had never read a cowboy book until last August when I started buying some for Garb August. I was desperate to finish the Garb August bingo card. And it required me to read a book that had a cigarette ad in it. And I determined that old-style westerns were probably my best bet, so I ordered loads of them, none of which had a cigarette ad in it. But I did discover I really liked westerns. June on the Range is an annual event that is... Excuse me, I've got a really itchy throat. I'm going to have a drink. It's an annual event that is gaining in popularity. It's the brainchild of Michael K. Vaughan. I love his channel. It's loads of fun. There's a couple of prompts. Not many, just a couple. And you don't have to do them. I intend to. One is to read a Louis L'Amour book, and one is to read a Zane Grey book. Now, Louis L'Amour was one of the authors that I read last year in August. So I ordered myself what I got here. 7. I've got To the Far Blue Mountains, West with the Tide, Flint, Ride the River, Matagorda, and the one I'm going to start with is Hondo. The reason I'm going to start with Hondo is because I've been looking up best Western novels and repeatedly Hondo appears on there. So I'm going to start with that. And for the same reason, I'm going to start with, for Zane Grey. I can't get this to open. I am going to start with Riders of the Purple Sage, which also repeatedly appears. Oh, I've lost it. On the list of best Westerns. I also have, what's this one? The Man from Texas. This is by Owen Evans. No idea about that. That's a leftover from Garb August. I have a lot more Zane Grey books because they're in the public domain, a lot of them. And so Project Gutenberg, I ran to. And I've picked up quite a few. But I didn't want to just stick to those two. So I've also picked up, most of which were free on Kindle. I do have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, but these weren't in Kindle Unlimited. These were just free. So I have The Mysterious Rider, Tales of Lonely Trails, The Last Trail, The Sheep, oh no, that's not it, The Rustlers of Pecos County, and Light of Western Stars, all by Zane Grey. Then I have The She-Boss, a Western story by Arthur Preston Hankins. I have Louisiana Lou, a Western story by William West Winter. Florence Finch Kelly has written Emerson's Wife and Other Western Stories. The Taming of the Red Butte Western by Francis Lind. Selected Stories of Bret Harte by Bret Harte. All of those were free on Kindle. I've got a couple of mega packs. A Western mega pack, the Cowboy mega pack. There's another one somewhere, but I can't find it. But then I thought I would try some more classic Westerns. This is a list of pile of possibilities, by the way. You know, I'm not committing to reading every single one of these because there's about 30 of them. I've got Shane by Jack Schaefer, which I've never read. I've got All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. And I've got Butcher's Crossing by John Williams. All of those also frequently appear in a list of top 10 or a list of top Western novels. So, I think I've got June on the Range covered. In the meantime, I've fallen down a bit of a rabbit hole. I have discovered cowboy poetry. I didn't even know it was a thing until 3 days ago. So I've gone off on a tangent trying to find some cowboy poetry. And I've been enjoying what I've found so far. Jim, Mysteries and Mayhem, suggested I tried Robert W. Service. And I found several of those on Project Gutenberg. And this guy is the Yukon poet. So he was riding the ranges in the Yukon, and from what I've read of his poetry since day before yesterday, it's great. I love it. Then I found a guy called Badger Clark, and I could only find one book by him on Gutenberg, but it's brilliant. And he was mainly in, bear with me, my notebook is buried. He was the first ever poet laureate of South Dakota in 1937. The book I picked up, The Sun and Saddle Leather, has photographs in there by a photographic pioneer who documented the West, L.A. Huffman, and it's Leighton Alton Huffman. And he was mainly based around Montana, but the pictures are fabulous. He was working mainly in around Montana. He was born in 1854. He died in 1931. So we're talking end of the Victorian era and beginning of the 20th century that he was working. Fabulous stuff. The photographs are wonderful. Anyway, I've fallen down that rabbit hole, but I'm loving it. So that is what I am planning this summer. That's a bit crumpled, isn't it? This is my festival hat. I've had it for many years, but I do like it. I'm really looking forward to this summer. I've got sport, I've got Star Trek, I've got other sci-fi, I've got cowboys, I've got banned books, I've got big books, I've got Ulysses, and I've got history. I think that's enough to keep me going. What are you going to do? Are you joining in with any of these events? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for popping by. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to. And I will speak to you again on Sunday, which time I'm hoping my voice might be back. Who knows? It's been nearly 2 weeks now. I'm getting quite bored of this cold. Anyway, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.